Renee.
And I'm Jess.
And we're the Deerfoot sisters. Welcome to Deerfoot. I'm so confused. That's awkward.
No, leave it.
Okay.
I like it.
So we just changed it up this week. And welcome to Deerfeet. This is our podcast with us, Renee and Jess.
The Deerfoot sisters.
Okay, so...
Wait. I need to preface. So this week, Renee did all the planning herself, and she's going to be taking the lead on the episode, so we'll see how it goes. Off to a great start.
Okay, so besides the criticism, we're going to get started this week. We're talking about television. So as sad as we are to go back to school, well, happy and sad, but one great thing about the end of summer is all of our favorite TV shows come back on the air. So it's exciting times.
Correction, some of Renee's, I do not watch really any TV on network television, so mine don't really come back in the fall.
And I guess most of the shows I watch on network TV aren't really my favorites. They're more like my guilty pleasures, but whatever, they're still there. All right, so we're starting off with a talk about like what it means or where it is you can find TV these days. So like you have cable.
Yes.
And do you think it's worth it?
I don't know. I don't really watch it.
Yeah, I mean you don't watch any network TV?
I watch premium channels.
Right. Which you can pretty much get standalone.
Yeah, so I don't really... There are a few shows that I watch on cable, but not on network. So, like, I think with network TV, you wouldn't even need cable. Like, you could just... Or you could get, like, an antenna or something.
You can get a lot. So, like, I don't have cable, but I have Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime Video, Amazon Fire Stick, and I have this app called Philo, which that is good because it has some channels that you can't get on Hulu, like so some shows you can't get. It has AMC and FX, which both aren't on Hulu, or maybe they are, but they take a long time to come. They're not next day. Like all the other networks, like CBS and NBC, they come on Hulu usually next day, except Criminal Minds doesn't. So I have to wait like a whole year to watch that on Netflix. So same with like Walking Dead, I used to have to wait like an entire year to watch it on Netflix, but with this Philo app, I can watch it same day. So
nice.
You can watch it live, or you can like record it and store it in like a cloud DVR type thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah. We used to have the premium channels, so I would sometimes just watch those on my cable, because I would like DVR them, and it's like an easier way to get to them, because on demand is fine, but it's just easier to do DVR. But now I don't, so I just use them on my Amazon Fire Stick, and so I have like Amazon Prime, Hulu, and Netflix. And then on the Fire Stick, there's other ways you can watch stuff. So I was watching some movie, I don't remember what it was. And it might have been The Princess Bride, and I signed up for like a free trial of something, but then I just like was able to cancel it. So the nice thing about the Fire Stick is you just search for whatever you want to watch, and then it tells you like how you can watch it.
Like different apps you can use.
Yeah.
And I know Tim used this weird thing on Fire Sticks, like Kodi, which is like, I'm like, I don't think it's like legal. It's like pirated, but it's like not really. Yeah, I don't know all about that life. So sometimes we would like watch episodes of shows, but they would be like a little inset screen surrounded by like weird anime characters and like Japanese writing. I was like, what is this? Like some weird ad. We're recording at my apartment tonight, so you might hear some Reggie interference in the background. He is acting kind of crazy tonight, so sorry about that. All right, so yeah, I've heard someone refer to this as the golden age of television, because there's like so many options, but it's also hard because sometimes really great shows kind of get unnoticed because there just is so much to watch. Like it's impossible to watch everything that's out there. All right, so we're gonna move on with a little game that we put together. So for this game, we have thought of a couple of TV shows that we watch. So these are current shows, not like shows from the past. They're either currently in a season or have a season returning, or they may have just wrapped and we're not sure of their fate. But these are not like shows that have ended. So when I was like watching Angel, for example, it couldn't be that. And we have some clues. So the way the game is going to work is we're going to read our first clue, which is one word, and we can try to guess. If we get it, we get 3 points. If we don't get it, we go to the second clue, which is a 2-word clue. Then the third clue is a 3-word clue, and they're worth a decreasing number of points. Once we figure out what the show is, we'll tell you a little bit about like why we like this particular show. All right, Jess, so do you want to go first or second? Do you want to read first or second?
I guess I'll read first.
Okay. Oh, wait, I was going to give you an example. So an example I have for this is a show I just started watching. So my first clue is anthology.
Okay.
Do you have a guess?
Yes, but I don't remember the name of the show, but I feel like you told me about it.
I did. My second clue is Duplass Brothers.
Oh, Room 104.
Yes, on HBO. And my third clue is going to be creepy and bizarre because the show's really weird. You may have heard Reggie sniffing the microphone. Can you just stop? Oh my god, you're so vicious. God. All right, so read me yours.
Okay. Comedian.
Okay.
Any guesses?
Curb Your Enthusiasm?
No. Single mother.
Single mother. Nope.
50s housewife.
No, I have no idea what this is. Oh, is this the Marvelous Mrs. Maisel?
Yes.
Okay,
1 point for you.
I've never actually watched that show. So is it good? It's on Amazon, right?
On here.
Okay.
Yeah, it's an Amazon original. It's really good. It
wins like a lot of Emmys, I feel like.
Yeah. I really like it. It's interesting and funny. We're going to take a pause for a second because I just have to fix something really fast. Okay, we're back. Oh, shoot. Did you look at my paper?
No, I didn't. You're always asking me. I'm not a cheater by nature.
Okay.
Okay, so Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, Amazon Prime, worth a look?
Yeah, it's really good.
Okay. So my first one, the first clue is suicide. You have a guess?
13 Reasons Why?
No.
Okay.
The second clue is complex friendships.
Is this called, like, Things Fall Apart or something? No. Something like that.
Similar.
Oh, all the little pieces or tiny little pieces or something like that?
Pretty close, but that's
that
not the
counts!
name.
It counts!
And the third clue is breast cancer battles.
What's it called?
It's called A Million Little Things.
Ugh, counts.
And
that counts as a 2 point.
That show's actually, I think, pretty stupid, but I was, like, looking it up, and it has, like, a 7.9 on IMDb. And I was like, really?
Was that user ratings?
I'm not sure. I think it's a combination. Okay, so wild.
Okay.
So yeah, that show's interesting. I don't even know what channel it's on because I just watched it on Hulu, but there's a lot that goes on, and it's kind of weird. So you can check it out if you have, nothing better to watch. All right, your second one? Oh, so you got 1 point for that.
I didn't make a third clue for this.
Well, maybe I'll get it in the first or second. She's writing her third clue.
I'm writing my third clue, sorry.
Oh my God, Reggie, stop. You're so...
Media.
Okay, don't know.
Super rich.
Oh, is this Succession?
Yep.
Okay, 2
so you
points
got a
for me.
2-pointer for that one.
Stop. I have to put you in your plate.
So Succession is a show on HBO, and it's about a family that owns, they're like, what is it called? Like a media conglomerate.
Yeah.
So the dad is getting older, and it's like in the first episode, he's about to announce his older son as the new CEO, and then he basically is like, never mind, I'm not retiring. And he's always like playing games and like mind games with his own family.
Like weird games, like making people...
Well, that was
like
a
pigs.
Weird episode, yeah.
I don't watch that one either.
But I really like it. The newest season is out now. I think it's season 2 that's out right now on HBO.
Cool. All right, so that's an HBO, so you need your premium channels for that. All right, my second one is, the first clue is animated.
Okay, BoJack Horseman.
Yes. Did you have that one?
No.
My second clue was awesome references, and my third clue was saddest show ever. So, BoJack Horseman is a Netflix original. It's a great show. It stars Will Arnett as a washed-up actor who's also a horse. So, in the show, like, there's a lot of characters that are just random animals, and they kind of, like, all live together with people. So, there's, like, a character, and his name's Mr. Peanut Butter, and he's a dog. And he's, like, married to just, like, a regular human woman, Diane. And that's, like, not weird. It just is part of the show.
It's totally normal.
And there's some parts of the show that are, like, super absurdist, but a lot of it's really good. And the characters are just, like, really flawed, and it's really sad. But because it's a cartoon, it's, like, not quite as sad. It's more digestible. And they have just a lot of really funny, like, small details. So that's what I meant by, like, awesome references. Like, you'll see like little signs on shops, and they have like all these like funny puns and just like stupid stuff. Like the police officer is a cat, and his name's like Officer Meow Meow Fuzzy Face. So it's just some funny stuff like that.
They have like Best Buy, but it's called Beast Buy.
Yeah, so it's like really funny. That's a great show. So if you have not watched that, BoJack Horseman, definitely check it out. It has a 6th season coming out, but they haven't like actually said the release date for it. So not sure when, but it is coming out eventually.
I thought I might have read that they did have a release date for it, but I'm not
maybe
sure.
they did. I could have read an old article.
That's probably my favorite show.
Yeah, it's probably one of my favorites too. It's a great show.
Yeah.
Although the last couple of seasons have been kind of weird, but.
And then whenever they do a flashback, they always play like they're like generic 90s grunge song or whatever.
To show it's in the 90s.
Say, like, what it is. Okay. All right. My third one is first clue: vampires. Okay, you have to say
it's a current show.
Yeah.
Oh, is it like I know what it is, but I don't know the name. The things they do in shadows.
No. Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
It's not how you say it, but
oh, how do you say it?
What we do in the shadows.
Oh, okay. So
what
we do with the things they do.
My other clues were mockumentary film. I guess I meant they're making like a documentary film, but werewolves, not swearwolves. I actually don't even know if that line is in the show. I don't think it was in this first season, but this is a really hilarious comedy. So basically, the premise is it is vampires. The show takes place in in Staten Island, so it's in New York City, and they're vampires, and then they're having a documentary made about them.
Okay.
So it's pretty interesting.
But there's also werewolves.
Yeah, there are werewolves, and they like hate the werewolves. They have like a feud with the werewolves.
Classic.
So it was based on a film that was like took place in New Zealand, I think. And in that film, the werewolves, they're like basically like frat brothers, and like they're like cursing, and then like the leader's like, "Hey, we're werewolves, not swearwolves." But that's, I don't know if they're gonna say that in this one. So I actually just realized that's kind of from the movie and not from the show, but whatever.
Well, I would have known because I haven't watched it, but you've described that to me before.
It's really, really funny. It's like made by Jermaine Clement and someone else.
Oh, okay.
And then in the movie, Jermaine Clement is a character, but I don't think he is in the show. Well, actually, he has a cameo because they have like this tribunal, and it's actually their tribunal was funny because they have like famous ones. So like Rachel Evan Wood was in it because she played like a vampire in like True Blood.
Yeah.
But then they had like Danny Trejo. So they just had like actors, I guess, that they're like that person's a vampire. What's her name? Tilda
Swanson or something.
She was like one of them. So it's just
they're just like saying they're vampires. That's funny.
And then the one
they should have definitely had like Keanu Reeves since he like doesn't get older. Did you ever see those things? It's like a picture from like 1853 and it looks exactly like Keanu Reeves. And then it's like every year that Keanu has been alive and it's like he hasn't changed at all.
So anyway, that was pretty funny. I loved it.
Okay,
so you got 3 points for that one. Dang, girl.
Nice. All right, so your next one is the first word is crime.
Okay, is it Criminal Minds?
No. The second is...
Do you only get one guess for each thing?
Yeah. The second is sexual assault.
Okay, Law and Order SVU.
Yeah, Special Victims Unit.
I was going to say, your clues were kind of hard. I was like, my clues are way easier than yours.
I don't think that's true. You
Egans.
got BoJack on the first. And originally I had rape as the first clue for Law & Order SVU, but I was like, I'll change it to crime because that's like too easy.
Okay.
Like a show about rape, obviously it's that one. So I still watch Law & Order. It's a lot of the like original cast is gone. They've been replaced with new actors. Be careful, you're gonna push him right out there. Jeez Louise. Don't pet the cat on the banister. So anyway, but like Olivia Benson's still on, Mariska Hargitay, so it's she's still there, and Ice-T is still on as well. But a lot of the other characters are no longer on, or they like make very few cameos here and there. You got 2 points for that. All right, next one.
Okay, the next one, you're gonna get it. Ugh, I want to change. Okay, whatever. Gallagher's.
Shameless?
Yep.
You can tell them about it.
So Shameless is a show on Showtime, and it actually is based on a British show by the same name, which I think you can find on Netflix. But it's basically just about the American version is about a family that lives in Chicago, and they're pretty dysfunctional, and they're shameless, as the title indicates.
Yeah, so they're just, like, into all kinds of wacky stuff and crime. It's, like, a pretty good show. I don't know. We, like, watched the show at first, and then we didn't really like it. Then I watched it again and got really into it. Then I didn't have Showtime and didn't watch it, and then I watched it again and binged a bunch. But it's definitely bingeable, I would say. So you could watch a bunch of episodes. The characters are funny and they're likable. There's a lot of storylines going on at once, so you don't get too bored. This cat is literally crazed. All right, so your next one is Seattle.
Frasier?
No, that show's not on anymore.
Oh, damn, okay. I want to not count that guess.
You can't.
Grey's Anatomy.
Yes, Grey's Anatomy. Frasier is not on. It hasn't been on air in like 10 years. My second clue was Mini Livers, and my third clue was Messed Up Doctors. So
Mini Livers?
Yeah, that's like a project she's working on. So I watch Grey's Anatomy still. It is my my soap opera, my primetime soap opera. It's like really dramatic because if you really think about like their lives, like on one episode they actually talked about like all the crazy stuff that's happened to them, and they're like, I was in 2 plane crashes and held up by gunpoint and like watched a bomb and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, yeah, that would never happen. Like if that was your life, you would definitely think you were cursed or something. Like all these again with the alarm.
Sorry.
I'm getting a new co-podcaster. Anyways,
we'll see how this episode goes, and then I'll be putting out ads.
Anyway, so yeah, I still watch that show, and it still makes me cry all the time. There's so many characters that are always changing.
You're not crying right now. Prove it. Prove it.
That's how I cry.
Business baby, got you good. Win.
Okay. Yeah, that's another show. Last Week Tonight with John Oliver, which hopefully you didn't put on there because now I'll know.
No, I didn't. But that's so funny.
Yeah. But
his business daddy is AT&T, so he's always making comments about it.
So like every episode, he disses AT&T.
And then he'll be like, "Gotcha, good business daddy. Business baby don't care." He's like, "Business baby's upset. Win." And fake cries, and it's like so ridiculous.
It's really like it's every time. Like he'll be doing a really serious news piece, and he'll be like, "And the only thing that's got worse connection than that is an AT&T phone call," or like whatever.
Yeah.
So
I was like, the only reason for your doctor to hang up on you is if you or to not hear you when you tell them something is if you call them using AT&T. Burn, business daddy, burn.
Yeah, that show's really funny because they really like push a lot of buttons. But anyway, yeah, Grey's Anatomy is still on, still good. The episodes make me cry. It's by your butt. You almost got it. There you go. You got it.
Gotta take my vitamins.
Still interesting to watch. And I know like they always say, oh, those shows aren't like legitimate, but I do feel like
legitimate? What does that mean?
They don't actually teach you real stuff about medicine, but I feel like I have definitely learned things about like medicine and bodies on that show that are true. Like even if not everything is accurate, obviously, but like some of the stuff I've like heard, like I remember like I know what like a Whipple procedure is because of like watching that show. So like, there's certain things you do learn.
Okay.
All right, what's your next one?
All right, Murder.
The Sinner?
No, that is a great show though. Is it still on? I don't know.
Well, they have a second season. I never watched it yet.
FBI agents. Ew, you look freaky.
Criminal Minds?
Nope.
Oh, Mindhunter? I changed my guess. 2 points.
No.
That's not the answer?
You don't get 2 points.
Yes, you guessed Frasier.
No, that's because I forgot the rules. You created the game, so you know the rules. So that was because I didn't create the game.
Fine, 1.5 points for me.
You get 1 point for that one. The last clue was behavioral analysis unit.
Yeah, well, that was a tricky one because that could have been Criminal Minds.
I know.
Everything. That's a great show, and Ed Kemper is a real person, I'm pretty sure.
Is he?
Yeah, I looked him up, and I think he's real. Unless, like, the articles I were reading were just, like, about the Mindhunter universe. So if you know if Edmund Kemper is a real murderer, let us know.
Well, why was I saying that? Oh, yeah.
Cause you said he was, like, an amalgamation of characters.
That's what I thought I read in an article, but maybe he was real. I don't know.
Well, you should watch that show. It's really good. It took forever for them to come out with a second season. I think initially it wasn't going to get renewed. So maybe you watched it and you forgot how good it was and you didn't notice there's a second season, but there is, so check it out. And if you haven't watched the first season, check that out. It's really good. It's on Netflix.
I feel like you have bad information. So basically what the show is about is it's the creation of the behavioral analysis unit, which is the section of the FBI that it's like the people in criminal minds. So they go out to like local law enforcement and help with solving crimes, particularly like repeat offenders and stuff. And they do like profiling of the suspects and things like that. I feel like it came out like last year, so it only took a year for it to come out with a new season.
I feel like it took a long time, but maybe it was last year. I don't know.
But you can like look it up. I almost thought that it wouldn't get a second season. Season 2, I feel like the way they set up season 2, they're definitely going to have more seasons. Because season 1 was them basically interviewing a bunch of serial killers and maybe kind of helping with some local law enforcement. But then season 2, they went down and they dealt with the Atlanta child murders. So I feel like now they're just going to be like every season's going to be like a different case, and it will be like an episode of Criminal Minds, but an entire Netflix season's worth of it.
Right.
And I really like it, so.
Why is this not working?
Whatever, I'll look it up. You can move on with your next clue.
Okay, so my first clue is firefighters.
Firefighters?
Firefighters.
And it's a show you watch?
Yes.
Currently?
Yes.
Firefighters?
Yes, firefighters. They're people who fight fires.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so Mindhunter Season 1 came out in 2017, and Mindhunter Season 2 didn't come out until 2019, so 2 years, which is a pretty long time. Especially because they never, like, announce. They just, like, they're like, we don't know if there's a second season, and then, like, oh, here's the second season, you know?
Okay, is the show 911?
It is.
Okay.
Are you, like, looking up firefighter shows on your phone? Because you're, like, firefighter?
No, I was just, like, I'm like, what? And I was thinking, isn't there, like, one of those, like, what are they called? Like, Blue Bloods or something? Isn't there, like, a firefighter show like that?
Oh, that's like Chicago Fire?
Yeah, I guess.
Or like Station 19, which is like the Grey's Anatomy spin-off with firefighters.
Okay, so I was trying to think of something like that, but then I was like, she doesn't watch those shows.
So 911, my second clue was Los Angeles, and my third clue was craziest situations imaginable. So these firefighters...
Those two, I would never have gotten it.
These firefighters, like, they deal with really, really crazy situations. Like, one time a guy, like, fell onto like an air compressor, so it was like puffing up his whole body, filling it with air. Like, it's like really stupid stuff. Or like, I don't even know, like they were like it was like a children's birthday party, and the bounce house like blew away in like a windstorm, so they had to go like chase it down and like save the kids, you know, like really crazy stuff. And then like in the last season, one of the characters played by Jennifer Love Hewitt, she has like a stalker ex-husband, so there's like that whole component of it too. It's a great show. I mean, it's actually not as really ridiculous, but it's fun to watch.
Our dad watched it too, so you guys would talk about that before he died.
Well, yeah.
Not like right before he died, but I mean, it was kind of, because it came out like right when he was getting sick.
It's pretty new.
And you guys were like talking about it, and I was just thinking, and you were like basically talking about how it was so crazy, and I was like, it sounds dumb.
It's pretty dumb, but it's funny. All right, so what's up next?
Okay, Vegas.
Vegas. Okay, next.
The 80s.
Is this Glow?
Yeah.
I was going to guess that after Vegas, but I was like, I don't even know if that show takes place in Vegas. I told you, I've watched a few episodes with Tim.
Fine.
I thought you might have put that one. You want to tell them what it is?
So, Glow stands for Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling. This one I don't know. They just came out with season 3. I don't know if it was renewed for season 4, but they definitely set it up for season 4.
It's on Netflix, right?
Yep. So basically, it's about an actor, and she basically joins this TV show, Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling, but they have like some issues with their producers, so they get canceled. So then they can't be on TV anymore, but they basically go to Vegas and they just do like a live show.
Right.
And so
that's kind of where the Vegas comes in?
Yeah.
I don't know if I knew that part. All right, so next up for you, that was your last one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, my last one. The first clue is aliens.
Okay.
No guesses?
Oh, I keep thinking I have to guess by the first clue. Okay, it's a show that you watch.
Same rules apply. It's a show that I watch.
Okay, aliens? Okay, wait, I gotta think for a second. Aliens. Current show that you watch. The only show I know about aliens that's current. Oh, it's probably some like animated thing. Maybe it's like
I'm not telling you.
Maybe it's like
Do you have a guess or
maybe
not?
it's like Power Rangers.
Do you have a guess?
Power Rangers.
No. The second is super strength.
So, oh, is it that Runaway show?
What Runaways?
Marvel's Runaways?
Yes, and I wanted to read my third clue, which is telepathically linked Velociraptor.
Stop. That doesn't happen.
Yes. The one girl's power is that she has a telepathic connection with this Velociraptor. So,
that exists?
Yes, her parents, genetically modified and created it. So,
okay.
And her name is Old Lace. That's the name.
Old of the person or the raptor?
The Velociraptor. The girl's name is Gertrude.
Old Lace?
Old Lace, that's her name. That's what they named her.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're like,
sounds
Old Lace
amazing.
needs our help.
Honestly, it sounds like, what's the Power Rangers thing called?
There's like a million Power
The
Rangers.
The one that we watched the other day with the weird gems.
I don't know what they're called. They're all weird. The other day, that was 4 months ago. And I think it's called Power Rangers Dino Force, but I don't know if it's new. Those shows are really weird. Power Rangers is so weird.
That sounds better than this Marvel's Runaway show.
This show is really interesting.
I'm a clap person now. I clap when I talk.
It's interesting. I think it's on Hulu.
Yeah,
I kind of just watched it because I had been watching something else and it just started playing after, and I was like, guess I'm watching this now. And then I watched it.
So are they actually aliens? They're not mutants?
Well, there's some aliens in it. And, I like it because one of the actors who plays an alien is Julian McMahon, who plays Cole on Charmed, who I always had a crush on.
Cole? Is he the one that's the demon?
Oh my god, who are you even? Is he the one who's the demon? Yeah, he's Balthazar, and then he becomes the source of evil. Hello. Oh my god, it's you know nothing.
You look really bad TV.
I thought you said I look really bad today, and I'm like, that's really mean, and they did not need to know that. Yeah, I watch a lot of TV. I pretty much watch it as filler. Sometimes I don't even watch. I just put it in my headphones and listen. Law & Order SVU, you really don't need to watch. You can pretty much just listen to it like a radio show, because all the characters' voices are pretty identifiable. So,
but do they describe the images? If they show something? And
so sometimes I just hear, fighting, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on there. But then you figure it out quick enough. If they're like, oh my god, you've been shot, Liv's been shot, then I'm like, oh, I guess Olivia got shot. You figure it out. All right, so what did we score?
Oh.
6.
Mm-hmm.
I think you won. Your quiz is so hard. And then you won.
Oh, you got -10. Just kidding. You got 9 points.
You got 14 points.
Oh,
even though it's really more like 13 because of Fraser.
Well, so what? I'd still win even if you got 10 and I got 13. I would still have won.
That's true. All right, so now I think we're going to take a short commercial break.
Okay.
So let's pause for commercial.
See you guys soon.
This week's podcast is brought to you by the Beefy Boys. Just 3 cool dudes hanging out, talking about sports, video games, music, and whatever else they feel like. Find them at their website, www.beefyboys.com. Also, where you find your other podcasts, iTunes, Podbean, YouTube, all the regulars. The Beefy Boys, the best show on planet Earth.
Hi guys, we're back.
We're back. I don't know if you needed to have a pause for that one.
No.
Oh, I don't know. You're always yelling at me about not leaving enough space for stuff in the front.
Let me just write this down.
All right.
Interesting.
So
this is your annual review.
My what?
Your annual review.
Okay, so next up, our next topic of discussion is best all-time TV shows.
Definitely Charmed.
Obviously,
kidding, it's really horrible. It's literally one of the worst TV shows I've ever seen in my life.
Okay, that's a bit extreme, but...
Okay, so I loved Justified.
Justified, okay. FX, right?
FX.
Not the movies.
Yeah, I really wanted to sing that.
You always sing that song. All right, so Justified, is that your top answer? Best all-time TV show ever?
I don't know. I mean, I just think it's a great TV show. I really loved it. I do feel like it got a little weird at one point, but then I do like how it ended. So
that's good. Anything else?
About Justified?
No, other shows or just that one?
I don't even know. I mean...
I watched the first season of Justified, but I never finished watching it. Oh, we're going to write that in my review too? Okay. Earlier you said BoJack's your favorite, so do you think that's the best show?
I don't know if it's like the best. It's like shows I really like.
Okay, but I mean, like, according to you, is that the best show?
I don't know.
On television now.
I don't know if I think Justified is better or not.
Yeah, I don't really know what my, like, all-time favorite is. I like BoJack a lot. I also really like Bob's Burgers.
Yeah,
but, like,
it's funny.
I feel like the last season was, like, not as good. I think they, like, changed writers or something. But that show is great. It's really funny. I know a lot of people tell me they don't like it because they don't like the style of animation. And I'm like, then just put your headphones on and don't watch it because you can pretty much figure out what's going on and you can just listen. And it's really funny.
It's quite funny.
But it's only, like, what's the guy's name? Benjamin H. something?
Yeah. I know a lot of people that don't watch it because of him, because they watch Archer.
Yeah.
And they're like, I can't watch it. But I'm, like, the opposite. I never watched Archer. I have a friend who, he was like, let's start, like, he wanted me to watch it, or he was like, it's good. So we were, like, watching the first few episodes together, and I was like, I just think Bob Belcher. And then also I watched the show. I don't know if it got canceled or not. It was on TBS, which is very funny. And...
Stupid.
You laughed. Wait, let me write that.
Oh, H. John Benjamin. I was like, Benjamin H. I was just saying his name backwards.
Benjamin H. John. You mean Indigo Mendib?
What?
H.
Oh. Okay. I was like, no, I didn't mean that. I don't even know what that is.
Anyway.
So anytime you watch Archer, you just hear Bob?
Yeah, and then I watched the show on TBS called People of Earth, which is about people who've had alien encounters, and they're like in a support group. And he's actually an alien who's like a cop.
Okay.
He's what's called a reptilian, so they can like make themselves look like humans. Yeah.
Speaking of reptilians, remember that show on Netflix, Hemlock Grove? That was weird. That was a weird show.
Yeah.
Probably the best show of all time.
Honestly, though, The Sinner, like, season 1, that was crazy.
Good TV.
It was, like, really good. I think it, like, messed me up. And I
Really?
I kind of want to rewatch it. It, like, stuck with me. I, like, binged it one night, and I definitely had work the next day. That was last summer, I think. But, like, I watched all of them, and it's crazy because, like, you don't really know a lot of what's going on because essentially she, like, doesn't know even because she, like, went into, like, a, like, kind of dissociative episode where she, like, didn't know what she was doing, couldn't remember who she was or whatever. But then they basically, like, do go to a flashback, which I like because it's kind of annoying when shows don't, and you're like,
well, they do have like closure in that, so you know exactly what happens, which is good.
And what happens is so crazy.
Yeah, because I remember I like heard of that show and I was like, I'm gonna watch.
I don't want to give any spoilers.
And then I watched like the first episode and I was like, oh, it's kind of boring, and then I like didn't watch the rest. But then I was like, oh, let me try again, and I watched it and I watched them all and I was like, oh yeah, it's really good. I think I told you to watch it. So, I mean, there's not much of a spoiler like to say in the first episode, because they show this in the commercials.
Yeah.
Like, the first episode, basically, Jessica Biel's, like, on the beach, and she just, like, murders this guy. She just, like, starts stabbing him with this knife. And then the whole story is kind of, like, why did she do that? It was just, like, some guy she didn't even know. He was just, like, hanging out with his friends at the beach, and she just, like, ran up and murdered him. And she's, like, a mom. She's there with her baby. And it was, like, really crazy. So everyone's like, okay, it's not a mystery of, like, who done it. It's, like, oh, why did you do it? So,
yeah.
It was really good. Yeah, so I know a lot of people say, like, The Wire is the best show on TV.
Okay, so I have a friend.
You have so many friends. You're so popular.
I know. And he told me that he thinks Sopranos is the most important TV show ever made.
Okay.
I've never seen The Sopranos, but he was, like, saying that it kind of started, like, the whole TV drama thing, and I was like, well, what about The Wire? But then he said The Wire came after The Sopranos.
I'm not sure. So I tried to watch The Wire. Like, I like crime dramas, but I watched, like, the first couple episodes, and I didn't really get into it. But I'm like, I guess if I, again, tried again, sometimes you have to try a second time to realize you actually like something. But other shows I think are really good. Like, I thought Breaking Bad was really good. That was, like, a really good TV show. I originally liked The Walking Dead, but it's gotten really, really weird lately. And I will tell you the weirdest show I've ever watched.
Oh, yeah, The Sopranos started in 1999, so...
So it started like dramas?
Oh, and there's like a movie? Is this... Oh, no, this is just something different. Yeah,
so
maybe,
what do you think is the weirdest show I ever watched?
The weirdest show you ever watched?
Yeah, that I've told you about recently. It's super, super weird.
I have no idea.
The show is Preacher. It's extremely weird. If you guys have never watched it, you should definitely check it out. It's on AMC.
That's definitely not the weirdest show you've ever seen. You've seen those weird Power Rangers.
No, it's extremely weird. This season is the final season. It is so weird. Like, I can't even explain it to you. Basically, the whole premise is there's this preacher, and he's kind of like an anti-hero. So he gets this power called Genesis, which is sort of like a power to... It's like the voice of God, so he can like command people to do things, and they'll do it. And it just gets super wacky. So the first couple seasons are like a little more serious, pretty dark, kind of spooky. There's a lot of like gratuitous violence because it's like kind of like it's a comic book. It's based off a comic book. So the violence is like very much in the like Sin City vein of like everyone's getting beaten up and like disgusting stuff. Like, but it's like kind of funny in a way. But this last season is so weird. They're like in this war with God, and like in the last episode, like God bit out Jesse's eyeball. Like, that's really wacky. It's really weird. That's not even the weirdest part. A guy in the show, God was mad at him, so he like sicked a dingo on him, and the dingo ate his penis. And then he was like crawling through the desert, and some weird hillbillies found him, and they attached a faucet to his penis. So now he has like a little faucet that he can turn on and off to go pee. See, I told you, it's extremely weird. So then this guy, he's been like having a lot of problems that have been disfiguring him lately. So then he tries to kill himself.
The guy with the penis?
With the penis head? Penis? Yeah. Oh, and his head looks like a penis too, because he's a big scar in his head, so it looks like he has a penis for a head because he's bald.
Okay.
So then the hillbillies ate his leg also and fed it to him. So he's like all messed up. So he's like, okay, I'm just going to kill myself.
Wait, so why did they give him the faucet? Because they thought it was funny? I thought they were like,
no, they were going to keep him alive, but they also ate his leg. I don't know. So whatever. It was like a 10-minute clip. So he wanted to kill himself, right? But when he did, he was wearing these like nipple clamps, and then he went to hang himself, but then like the thing broke that he was hanging himself on, so he started to fall, and then the like chain connecting his nipple clamps got stuck on the string he used to hang himself, and it like ripped his nipples off. So it's just like really weird.
Why was he wearing the nipple clamps?
He's just into nipple clamps. I don't know. He was like naked and wearing like nipple clamps and like a pageant sash. He was drunk. He's like, it's a very weird show, but it's really good. It's really wacky.
You're not really selling it well.
I'm sorry, you don't want to watch a guy with a faucet penis get his nipples ripped off?
Really?
Yeah, so it's really super bizarre, but it is really good. And if you have not watched it, you should check it out. There's only, I think, 4 seasons, so it's not too long of a time investment. And it's interesting. There's a vampire, too.
Okay.
His name's Cassidy. He's, like, Irish.
Cool story.
Yeah, so there you go.
So what do you think about, like, Breaking Bad?
I said Breaking Bad was good. You were too busy Googling The Sopranos during that time. I thought that show was really good. I think it kind of, like, ended when it should have.
But let's be real. Your all-time favorite show is Arthur.
Arthur? Well, not the new episodes. They're really weird. Kids shows these days are weird.
Are they wacky?
They're wacky. I mean, it's not, like, nipple rip-off wacky.
Well, you know what actually is also a really good show? Sesame Street.
Sesame Street's pretty good, yeah. We've talked about that before. Another show that I liked, what was I going to say? I forgot. It just escaped my mind. Well, obviously Criminal Minds I love. It's like one of my favorite shows. But it's been going on for a long time. A show that I liked a lot was The United States of Terra.
Yeah,
kind of a weird one,
show.
but that's a good show, I thought. Probably a lot of the ones on the premium channels were good, but then they go off the rails. Like, True Blood was good at first, and then it got so weird at the end.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like there's a few, like, examples like that.
Yeah, that, like, happens with those kinds of shows because, I don't know.
They just, like, run out of storylines. All right, so then the next topic up is, like, what are some things you hate when TV shows do? Like, you know how I hate, like, dream sequence episodes. I hate those with a passion. I think they're so stupid. I'm like, why are you wasting the viewers' valuable time with some, like, BS what could have been universe?
Because sometimes you can have a dream and it can change your life.
Okay, but not in these shows. It's just like, and when it's a whole
episode. Yeah, but if you ever wrote a show and you got paid $1 million to write one of those episodes, you would definitely do it.
I definitely would not.
You're a sellout.
I think they're so dumb. No, I'm the opposite of a sellout. I said I would not do it.
You're wrong. You're a sellout.
Maybe for $5 million.
So,
what?
I was just going to say, we went camping this weekend, and there was a few times when Renee thought she could do these things, and she just couldn't. I remember, like, you think you can do these things, and you just can't.
You didn't want to say that. You did say that.
I know.
It's very discouraging. You're not really a good role model for our Girl Scouts.
So sorry.
Yeah. Like, so just because I couldn't fit through the parts of the spider web I thought I could fit through.
Or build a fire.
Okay, that wasn't my fault. Okay, Eileen is good at building fires, and she couldn't build it either. It took a really long time.
Yeah, it was very windy.
It was bizarre wood. I don't know what the problem was.
I think it was the wind.
Probably. We'll blame it on the wind. It was very weird. But anyway,
Blame it on the weatherman.
Do you have other, like, things you can think of that TV shows do that you hate? Like, how do you feel about dream sequences? I mean, do you hate them as much as I do?
I don't really care about dream sequences.
God, they're so annoying.
Dreams,
and also flashbacks, like, annoy me.
I just hate when shows, like, that's why I stopped watching Grey's Anatomy a long time ago. That's why I stopped watching This Is Us. Like, I just hate it when they just do, like, super extra stuff. Like, when it's supposed to be, like, a realistic drama, and they do, so like, much super extra stuff. I'm like,
okay, like, on, This Is
that's
Us.
Dumb.
Let me talk about This Is Us for a second, because I still watch that show, but those people are not likable. Everyone's like, they're such a great family. And I'm like, no, they're actually a terrible family.
I liked him.
No, he's like an alcoholic. He's got all kinds of issues now. And I'm like, these kids are so messed up. Like, their parents just weren't good. Like, I mean, I guess you're supposed to be like, they had an amazing dad and an amazing mom. It's like, actually not, because they're all, like, super maladjusted and messed up. And it's really not great. Oh, Tim's coming home. The Tim check-in.
Should we pause this?
Yeah, let's pause it.
And we're back again.
Again, as we pray.
Again.
Prayer hands.
We are back.
All right.
We are back.
You're making it spike.
That's my clapping.
Okay, so we were talking about things that we hate that TV shows do. So in addition to dream sequences and flashback, I don't really, it's like sometimes I don't mind flashback sequences. Like in like Walking Dead, sometimes they'll like do interesting flashbacks to like tell the story, like for different people's perspectives who's maybe you didn't see in the beginning. Or like the last season of Orange is the New Black, they did like a lot of flashbacks, but they were interesting. And I feel like sometimes those shows just do a flashback and it's just like a waste of time. And I'm like, I don't care about this. Like, I just want to see where the story is moving forward. But I think that's me too. I also don't like a lot of fight scenes in shows. Like when the majority of the show is just fighting, I'm like, I could not care less.
My least favorite is when the majority of the scene is is like a battle that's been built up for 7 seasons and it's entirely gray so you can't see anything.
Yeah, and then it ends anticlimactically.
Yeah, and you're just kind of like, okay.
Yeah, disappointing. So do you think Game of Thrones is one of the best TV shows of all time?
No, that TV show kind of sucks.
Oh, it sucks?
Like, compared to the books, yeah, it just kind of really sucks.
Oh, you're such a book snob.
The first couple of seasons were good, and they should have just honestly made like 15 seasons to make it look like really like the books.
Yeah.
Or if they were going to change stuff, they shouldn't have changed it in the idiotic way that they did.
True. I was just thinking about, for some reason, other kids shows that we watch. I think because I was looking over at my Snorlax pillow, and I was thinking about Pokemon. And Pokemon's like actually kind of interesting. Like if you ever watch it,
I've never watched it.
I like when kids shows. That cat is so wild. I don't know if you guys heard that growl, but that was the kitten. He's 4 months, and that's the sounds he makes.
But he's like big.
No, I mean he's like normal sized, I think.
Is he full grown?
Full grown? I don't know. I don't know how long it takes cats
my
to
pen.
be full grown. He was born on April 8th. That's his birthday. Anyway, so another show.
That was the sound of me writing Renee up.
Another kid show. Yeah, and your paper's like pink, so it's kind of intimidating. Like, here's your pink slip. So
You're fired.
Like, what kind of legal pad is pink? Like, who are you, Elle Woods?
Seriously.
That was a funny joke, so I laughed at it.
I wish you guys could see her face because she makes these stupid jokes and then she gets like this like what is the word I'm looking for?
Muppety.
Well, you still have a Muppety face, but she gets this like sheepish look on her face, like she thinks she's the most hilarious person in the universe, and then she laughs in that weird way. You'll hear it on the playback.
It was a regular.
Not like your regular laugh.
You don't know my regular laugh because nothing you say is funny enough to make. When I laugh at my own jokes, that's my real laugh.
That is when you That's your real laugh?
That's like a monkey.
That's like what you sound like. It's not like a weird laugh. That's what you do when you make your like really
at least I don't laugh like you.
You mean?
I don't laugh. It's just like a wheeze. They're just breathe emphatically in your direction, which is gross.
Wait, do you think I should sing the song that I wrote about K-turns?
No. Anyway, I was trying to talk about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Okay. I thought you were talking about Pokemon.
Yeah, and now I'm moving on to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles because I was going to say I like when kids' stories have storylines that go through, like, several episodes because, like, usually when they're, like, super episodic, it's like, okay, not all kids are, like, idiots. Sometimes they can, like, you know, remember something for... Well, nowadays it's not even like a week because they watch the show immediately, so yeah, it's kind of easier. But the show Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on Nickelodeon is, I think I've talked about it before, but it's like really complex, and you guys should check it out. There's a lot of really interesting storylines. Oh my god, you just do these motions and they're not clear. Like
okay. Well, first of all,
you just like pointed to the screen and shuffled your hands, and then like wiggled down your ears. Like, that doesn't indicate to me to speak louder.
Last week, I actually told you before we started what the symbol meant.
You said like this, and then you were like, but the symbol you were giving me didn't make sense. Okay, we'll talk about this off there. Anyway, another thing that I hate that TV shows do.
What I was saying is maybe talk a little bit louder.
Okay, so you know how you were saying, like, when shows do too much, it gets crazy?
Yeah.
And a show that was really guilty of that was The O.C., remember?
Love that
In the
show.
first season, it was like every single crisis that could happen to teenagers happened. And then the second season, they're like, oh, what do we do now? But something that I hate that TV shows do that show also did is they just, like, randomly add or remove characters as if, like, you're not going to remember. So remember on that show, like, all of a sudden, like, her little sister showed up and we're like, who is this person? And like, you've been at boarding school. And we're like, seriously? And you never talked about her once?
Yeah.
It's really weird.
It's weird.
And there's like a few other examples of shows that do that. Or when they just get rid of a character and you're like, wait. And I think it's especially now with like Netflix and Hulu and everything, because you can watch the episodes, you don't have to wait a week in between. Like, it's so much more glaringly obvious when they just like get rid of a character. And I'm like, wait a second. Well, that's why like, sometimes when I would watch Charmed, I would be like, did I miss an episode? Like, did I fall asleep and, like, something happened? But I'm like, oh, no, this is just the next episode, and it, like, doesn't make sense with the storylines. But, you know.
It's very surprising that happened on Charmed.
I know. It's so surprising. Any other things that happened to you that... Oh, another one I put on here is, like, it's not necessarily, like, a bad thing that shows do, but when you can tell, obviously, that the female actresses are pregnant... So, like, you'll be like, this entire season, we never saw, like, a shot below their shoulders, or, like, they're always carrying a big bag. It's just kind of funny, like, the ways that they hide their pregnancies and stuff.
It's really sad, though, when you think about, like, why they do it.
Yeah.
You know, about, like, Married with Children thing.
Right. Did you want to tell the viewers?
I guess.
I mean, the listeners, in case they haven't heard about it.
So, what's her name? The woman who plays Peggy?
I don't know what her name is.
I forget, but...
You know her voice.
She was pregnant.
Oh, Katie Seagal.
Yeah, so they wrote her pregnancy into the show, but then she had a, like, what do you call that? Like a late-term miscarriage? Like, she had basically like a stillborn baby. And so she was extremely pregnant, you know, and it was written into the show, and then all of a sudden her baby, you know, died. And so they basically didn't want to make her have a baby in the show because I think they just felt like that would be like very difficult, like more difficult for her. So they essentially just made it, sorry Renee, a dream sequence.
Well, okay,
that Al had.
In that regard, I can understand it because there's like a good reason behind it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this says that the baby was 6 weeks early and it was a stillborn.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So yeah, it's like she was pretty close to having the baby.
Yeah.
Which is like obviously really hard.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because like in the show Nashville, another great TV show, actually terrible TV show.
We talked about that.
Really great music.
Yeah.
But they
the show was okay in the beginning. The first few seasons.
The first season's right. So Hayden Panettiere was on that, and she was pregnant, and she was pregnant in the show, but then she like had issues with postpartum depression, and they like sort of wrote that into the show, but then she kind of just like wasn't on the show for a while because I think she took a hiatus.
Yeah.
And they were just kind of like, we're like, oh, she's off like getting treatment or whatever.
Yeah.
So.
Nice.
It's tough. It is tough with stuff like that, obviously.
Okay, what else is on here?
Okay, so that was it for the things we dislike about TV shows. And now the last thing is there any other shows that you're watching this fall that the viewers should check out or listeners should check out that we haven't mentioned yet?
Or
like, what do you think are like your top 3 go-to shows that they should watch?
I don't know. Good question.
Okay. Well, you told me not to tell you ahead of time what the topics were, so you have to think on the spot. And that's why you need to plan.
You're right.
So I would say probably shows that I'm definitely going to watch this fall include the ones that I mentioned, like, Law and Order. Definitely going to check out BoJack when it comes back.
Law and Order or Law and Order SVU?
SVU.
Okay.
I'll check out BoJack when it comes back. I still watch The Walking Dead, even though it's, like, kind of weird now, but whatever. It's interesting.
American Horror Story is probably coming back. Like, I'll watch that.
Yes, I still have to catch up on American Horror Story because, again, it's on FX, right? Didn't have access to that before I got this Philo app, so I'm behind a season. It should be coming to Netflix soon. Usually it comes out, like, in October, so that's a good one, too.
Yeah.
Weird show, but good. Not as weird as Preacher, but still pretty good. I'll probably check out 911. Last Week Tonight we mentioned, that's a really great show. You guys should check it out if you're into, like, news type stuff.
I think maybe, I don't know when Westworld is coming back, but they're, like, jumping forward, I think, in time in that.
I never watched the second season.
Oh, you didn't?
No. I, like, watched part of it with Tim, but then he, like, watched the whole thing, and I was like, I'll watch it eventually.
I think Aaron Paul is going to be in this newer season. And it takes place, like, in New York, because essentially the robot things kind of, like, took over or whatever, or, like, rebelled.
I saw this weird show called Evil. I saw a commercial for it. That looked really weird. It's like about demonic possession. It looks
interesting.
Pretty spooky for Halloween time. Might check that out. Oh, and I watched this really stupid show on Hulu called Light as a Feather. That's really dumb. But if you're looking for like a stupid... Oh, and Scream. Did you watch that new season of Scream? So MTV has a Scream TV show. I don't know when this third season came out, but I just watched it. It's pretty stupid, but it's kind of funny. This one centers around like... It's a different storyline than the first two seasons. The first two seasons were, like, about some white teens in some little community, and this one's, like, about, it's mostly about, like, a group of, like, African-American teenagers, and the one is, like, a star football player, and he's, like, kind of the target of the serial killer.
So, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, it's kind of fun, just, like, for the Halloween-type spookies. Anything else?
No.
That's all your shows?
Yeah.
Probably watch so much more than what I said, but that's pretty much it. All right, so then last thing for tonight is, or whatever time you're listening to this, is popping at the movies. What's popping, Jess? Nothing. Because we were supposed to go see It Chapter 2, but Jess was too scared to go.
And you didn't go either, for no good reason, really.
I didn't go because we didn't have a babysitter.
You could have gone without Tim.
Yeah, that would have been mean. We're seeing it together. We're going to probably go on Thursday to see it.
I'm not going to see it. I'm not about that scared life right now.
Just because it's, like, fall? We have to be outside when it's dark?
Yeah, because I have to, like...
Oh, but did luck come to you? Oh, wait, it was the next new moon, right?
Yeah, the next new moon.
2 weeks, so. So, yeah, we were going to see It Chapter 2, but Jess was really scared, and because we were going to be spending the following night camping.
Yes, well, we
and
did.
It was going to be... Right, I know, but I'm saying... At the time you canceled was because we would be spending the following night camping.
Right. And also it was a full moon, so...
Yeah, but... Well, I guess there's sort of a werewolf in It, kind of. A little bit. In the first one.
Well, in the original, yeah. And then in the first one, they just have, like, the claw thing. Yeah. But it's also just because I would be scared, and I didn't need to be, like, doubly scared of something.
So were you scared when we camped out?
No.
We were scared when that dog was barking, remember?
I was?
Everyone was. Remember, we're like, wait, what was that?
Well, because the dog... That sounded like a bark.
Yeah.
The dog started barking, and, like, it wasn't exactly clear there was a dog bark.
Yeah, because weird noises.
Because some people, like, Renee, couldn't start the fire. We had to have dinner, like, really late.
It was also, like 7:30.
Oh, yeah, because...
But we started the fire, like, 4 o'clock.
No, we started... Yeah, right? It was
like 5.
No, it was, like, 5, yeah.
Yeah.
Also, yeah, because it's crazy how fast, like, the days get shorter.
Right.
Because even, like, whatever, like a month ago when we did the last overnight at summer camp, it was, like, sunset was, like, 8:45, and now it was, like, 7-something.
7:30 something. Yeah. And
so it was, like, really dark. We're eating dinner. So basically we had to use, like, the oven to make the pizza bagels, and then they got the fire started for s'mores. But we were eating in the dark, and then we hear, like, the girls are all talking, and then we hear something, and I honestly thought it was some kind of animal, like, right in the woods, yeah. and it was, like, sounded, you know, like a growl or something.
Yeah.
So it barked. No, it was funny because it was a full moon. Not funny, but so my mom, I had told her, basically, like, you can, okay, this is kind of weird. I was like, you can wake me up if you have to go to the bathroom, if you want a partner. Because she said to my sister, like, oh, so will you bring buddies to the bathroom? My sister, Renee. And then Renee was like, no, you can just go by yourself. But, like, we tell the girls, if you have to go to the bathroom, like, wake us up and we'll take you. So I told my mom, like, I would go with her. Cause,
I don't think I would have said that like that. I'm not mean like that. I think probably what I said was, like, I'm taking these muscle relaxers because I hurt my neck, so I'll probably be, like, really passed out. But, like, if I wake up, I'll go with you. But it might be hard to wake me up.
I don't know. That's not how she said it to me, but whatever.
Sure, whatever.
So anyway,
I'm just trying to drive a wedge between me and Momly, and it's not going to work.
So she woke me up, and she was like, I have to go to the bathroom, but I'll just go by myself. And I'm thinking, like...
Then why would you wake me up?
Why'd you wake me up if you were just going to go by yourself? But I was like, I'll just come with you, because, like, I could use a pee right now. Which was nice, because...
Can use a pee.
Which was good, because basically that held me off then. So the next morning, I did, like, wake up at, like... something like 5:30, but then I went back to sleep and woke up like 7:30 or whatever time it was, and the girls were all talking. So I was like, sweet, because otherwise I would have definitely had to go to the bathroom at like 5 in the morning.
Right. And that's the problem when you're like camping and your bathrooms aren't that close to, like, they're not super far, but it's not like they're right there.
Yeah, so like we went and we didn't have to use our flashlights at all. And if Momly doesn't have to use her flashlight, you know it's bright out because she like uses one when it's like dusk.
Well, she needs to see the ground.
Right. So she was like, it was so bright because of the full moon, so we didn't use the flashlights. And then, but then on the way back we used it because we were exposed to the light of the latrine. So then we were like, no, I can't see anything.
Now we're blind. Our eyes have to adjust.
But
interesting.
I wasn't really scared, honestly. I just got cold around midnight, so I had to like go inside my sleeping bag.
I did not get cold.
Well, I was just using my sweatshirt blankie.
Yeah, because my sleeping bag's like designed for 30 degrees, so it was like so hot. So I had to sleep with like one leg half out. But then I'm like, no, I'm covered in bug bites.
I was covered in bug bites anyway, and I was wearing my blankie.
Yeah, well, there you go. All right, so anything else about television?
No.
All right.
I like TV. I don't know.
I like TV. I like TV too. And there's so much good TV now that...
Also,
obviously, I'm guilty of rewatching shows when, like, there's probably a ton of shows that I could watch that are really good. So if you're listening to this episode, I would say try to, within the next, like, month, try to start a new television show. Either maybe one that we recommended or just one that you found through a search. Just because you never know. Sometimes there's really great things out there waiting for you that you haven't tried yet.
Good suggestion. I was also going to say that we have in the FAR development a great idea for a pilot that we're going to create.
Well, don't tell them because they
I'm not going to say
it.
the idea. I never tell them the idea. And they're all like, okay, really? I'm like, I'm sorry. Like, I honestly think this is a really good idea, and I don't want someone stealing it. But
well, maybe one day in the future you'll learn about it. From Deerfoot Productions.
Yeah. The Rafus siblings. Sorry, you're a Rafus sibling. You might get that, and that'd be amazing. Okay, bye.
All right, well, actually, one more thing before we go. We wanted to give a quick shout out to one of the members of the Beefy Boys, our brothers/brother podcast. Vito just got married to his girlfriend Jane, so congratulations.
Fiance,
well, whatever.
Okay.
To his now wife Jane, so congratulations to Vito and Jane on your wedding. Next up to get married is Joe next year. And then maybe Christian and Haley. You never know. So to keep up with the love lives of the Beefy Boys, you can check out their podcast. They sometimes talk about their girlfriends / fiancés and wives.
Nice. Okay. Well, is that it?
I think that's it. All right, we're the Deerfoot Sisters, and we're prancing away.